So, Sue, I saw you doing a lot of grading over the past few days.
I have been correcting over and over again, and it seems sometimes like students never learn from the comments I'm
Yes.
putting on their sheets.
Yes.
Most often, the problem is that I'm correcting, and they're getting the paper back, looking at the grade, and then tossing it to the side. So I actually tried a new strategy this semester, and it's working really well for me. I think it would work well for anybody who has to correct writing in any particular discipline where they're writing papers.
So, what's your strategy and how do you deal with that?
Well, what I decided to do this semester is, instead of just handing back the papers that are heavily corrected, and I have been really heavily correcting them with the grammar errors and the punctuation and so on, but I'm asking them now to number every correction that I've made and research what the problem is. So if I have circled a comma or added a comma in, what's the rule? Because I find that anytime I've been corrected on something, and I'll tell you, I was 30-some years old before I realized there were two complementaries, one with an I and one with an E. For some reason, I never learned that. And I was ripped to shreds in a meeting one day, and I'll tell you what, I never
forgot it, yes.
And so what I'm trying to do for them is to identify what their error is. So they have to research it, and then we have a brief conversation as I look through their list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here was what the problem was.
Do you find a lot of the students can figure it out on their own?
They can't. And I think that's what shocked me the most, is that here I am thinking I'm correcting this and they're getting it. And even when I ask them to go look up the corrections, a lot of times they don't get it. They think I've circled this thing for a different reason. And so that brief conversation saying, okay, no, this isn't this, it's this problem. Oh, and the light bulbs are going on.
When do you have this conversation with your students?
Well, what I tried to do, and this is the first time I've done it, it's working very well, but I gave them a 2-week window. So I graded their first assignment. I said, within 2 weeks, I want you to come back to me with the corrections. I found that I can do about 4 or 5 in the 15 minutes before class. And then, they line up and so on. And then some people have to sit down because it's time to start class. Others come to office hours and so on. But I haven't had any trouble. Now, this is a smaller class. This is a 25, 26 person class. If you had 60, it would be a different story. They would have to come in during office hours. But literally, I can talk to them for 2 to 3 minutes. And the amount of learning that is going on now is tremendous. I'm really shocked at how much they weren't getting. Like, here I am knocking myself out with all these corrections, and they're not getting it anyway.
Right, thinking that they understand, and they don't.
They don't at all. So this has really been a neat experience. I have not yet gotten their feedback on it, but I know just in our conversations, they've seemed very receptive, very interested to learn what the rule is, what the issue is, and I think this will fix a lot of their writing.